Good evening once again, football fans, and welcome back to Stafford Field for another edition of Columbus East Football. This will be the fourth conference matchup for the Olympians this year, coming against the Bedford North Lawrence Stars. I'm Jacob Pierce, happy to be back with you after being off air last game we streamed. Alongside me on camera is Ashlyn Bergman, and back probably where he prefers to be in the producer's chair is Josh Burnett. Tonight's stream will be, what do you say, a little more advanced, as we're adding in a brand new camera for tonight's stream. So we'll be working with two cameras for tonight's game. So bear with us as we work out the kinks, adding in a brand new camera to the system. No changes in terms of COVID restrictions for tonight's game. Still 250 fans per side. Mask and social distancing are required. Concessions are open once again on both sides. The administration at Columbus East had considered maybe raising up the number of fans for after fall break, but out of an abundance of caution, they decided to keep the number at 250. So that's where we'll stand, presumably for the rest of the season. Breaking down the matchup history between these two schools, the past 15 years have been all Olympians in terms of the scoreboard. The Olympians come into this game number 14 in Class 6A, and the Stars come in at number 31 in Class 5A. The Stars are 2-4 overall record-wise, with a 2-1 conference record, and the Olympians are 4-2 overall with a 3-0 conference record. Last week, the Olympians came into Floyd Central to take down the number 8, or once was the number 8 overall in Class 5A Floyd Central Highlanders, and took them down 35-7 in what many considered around the state an upset. I don't know how you take a team that's won 92 straight conference games and mark them as an underdog in a conference game, but some consider that to be an upset. And for the Bedford Stars, they're looking to bounce back after a wallop of a game. They were defeated by Terre Haute South 56-14. So they're looking to bounce back tonight and possibly pull one off on the Olympians. A little quirk in the schedule, these teams, despite being conference opponents, have not had a common opponent all season. And we have 3 games left to go. So tonight will be the first time you can directly compare these two teams' schedules. Just a little quirk in the schedule this year. And as I mentioned at the top of this history, 15 straight wins for the Olympians in this series. In fact, the Olympians' last conference loss came to Bedford in 2006 on October 13th. They lost to Bedford 33-30, and it's been nothing but dominance for the Olympians ever since. The closest game in recent memory between these two schools came in 2018, when the Olympians went down to Bedford and had an absolute shootout with the Stars, trailing most of the game, but ultimately prevailing 58-48 when it was all said and done. In terms of scoring, as you see in that last stat, the Olympians have had no problems putting points on the board in this series. The Olympians have scored over 50 points in 8 of the last 9 games between the Stars. So obviously offense has not been a problem for the Olympians. The keys to tonight's game, the Stars field a very young roster, so that'll be a major cause for concern for the Stars. And with underclassmen comes undersize. They're going to have to work on keeping the line of scrimmage under control, as they do run a triple option system. So we'll see the ball on the ground a lot for both of these teams. And with triple option becomes what many football fans call assignment football. The defense has to match up with each individual player to make sure they can stop the triple option. So if you see a coach on the field yelling assignment football, that's exactly what they're talking about. And with the young team becomes maybe some problems with discipline. Whichever team tonight can stay on the field, keep their head in the game, and limit the amount of penalties will have a good chance of prevailing tonight here at Stafford Field. I'd like to thank our sponsors that have made these streams possible all year long. As you see the Olympians pouring out on the field for what will be their second to last home game during this regular season. Our sponsors for tonight and have been all season: Ruoff Mortgage, Ovation Technology Group, First Financial Bank, Columbus Wealth, Jolie Rentals and Jolie Development, Overhead Door of South Central Indiana, and the African American Fund of Bartholomew County. So thank you to all of our sponsors that have made this stream possible all season long. As you see here on camera, the Olympians are about to announce their starters. So we'll take a quick break here. We'll be back here at Stafford Field for some Friday Night Lights. We'll be right back.
Between the Olympians of Columbus East and the visiting stars of Bedford North Lawrence High School. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise as we recognize a moment of silence. On Monday, September 21st, Columbus East High School and Columbus East Athletics lost one of our own. Mr. Dennis Sylvester was the first athletic director at Columbus East High School. During his 25 years with the Olympians, he established the Columbus East Sports Program, formed and wrote the bylaws for the Hoosier Hills Conference, taught health and driver's ed, and coached girls track as well as several other teams when needed. Dennis retired from Columbus East in 1997. His most treasured moment was having the Columbus East Athletic Complex named after him. Dennis was a teacher and a coach his entire life, feeling as though his teams were family. He always tried to touch the lives of others in a positive manner. His life of coaching and teaching was a testament for his love and concern for others. In honor of Mr. Dennis Sylvester, we ask that you join us in recognizing a moment of silence. Thank you. And if you would please remain standing, the privilege of this game was made possible by those who have fought and continue to fight for the freedoms that we enjoy. Let us honor and respect their efforts in our country by gentlemen removing their caps, and everyone stand at attention, placing their hands over their hearts as we join the Olympian Spirit Marching Band under the direction of David Rogers as they play our national anthem.
And a big thank you to the Olympian Spirit Marching Band for tonight's national anthem. And also a big thank you to Dennis Pierce, our public address announcer, for giving a tribute to Columbus East's first athletic director, Dennis Sylvester, who passed away last week. The ceremonial coin toss coming up. Olympian stars here in just a moment here at Stafford Field. We'll be back in just a bit.
Looks like Bedford will receive the kickoff to start the first quarter.
So the Olympians won the toss and elected to defer to the second half. So that means the Stars will be on offense first here at Stafford Field for tonight's ball game.
And now through the left to right, plays the football.
Kicking off for the Olympians tonight is Nathaniel Hedrick. There was a little bit of a kicker competition towards the midway point of the season where Devin Cox had kicked off for a couple games, but Nathan Hedrick has taken back his spot as the kickoff specialist for the Olympians for tonight's ball game. As back deep to return for the Stars is number 22, Colton Staggs, as well as number 2, Dylan Nykirk. And the kick is away, and we are underway. As the kick is returned out to the 25-yard line and wrapped up right at the 25 by number 9, Grace Bergman, the East Star two-way player for the Olympians, who's made an impact both on offense as a wide receiver and in the secondary for the defense, as well as making a big special teams play to start off tonight's ball game. Out for the Stars here at quarterback, number 4, Bry Lewis, the 6-foot junior. As the Stars will start in shotgun formation, 3 wide receivers in the set with a tight end. And Lewis takes a snap and hands it off up the middle. And he is wrapped up by a few tacklers. One of them in there, number 23, Kai Stidham, who's bouncing back from an illness this past week. But he's come back and he's ready to play tonight. A gain of 4 on the run. Ball marked in between the 29 and the 30. It'll be 2nd and 6 for the Stars. Number 7 was on that carry, Zane Anderson. He barreled up the middle for 4 yards. As the Stars in shotgun once again, they give it up to, he's a keeper. Toss outside to number 2, that's Nykirk, and he's going to be wrapped up in the backfield. Grace Bergman making another big tackle for the Olympians. This one on the edge. A loss of a couple on the run, and that's going to bring up 3rd and long for the Stars. Looks like they'll mark it back at 3rd and 9 exactly. So the Stars have a lot of ground to make up to get the first down. As it looks like the Stars are going to be in no rush tonight as Lewis goes to the sideline to get each play call. So that'll extend the play call each time for him to get the play. As the play clock running down here, it's a keeper trying to find somewhere to run, and he's going to find nowhere. Lewis had nowhere to go in the backfield. The one to finally bring him down the backfield was number 33, Parker Harrison. So Harrison ends the drive right there, and it's going to be 4th and long, and the Stars are going to have to punt it away. A 3 and out on the opening drive for the Stars, and the Olympians defense picking off picking up where they left off last week in Floyd Central. As before the snap was away, flag down. I believe this is going to be 12 men on the field for the Olympians, as it looked like the Orange ran out an extra player. That's going to be a 5-yard penalty. In the big scheme of things, that's not going to matter much. It'll turn a 4th and 16 to a 4th and 11. Still a punt upcoming for the Stars. And the punt is away. It's to the left side of the field. And it's going to be fielded by a Bedford coach on the sideline near the 48-yard line of the Olympians. So Malachi Parks and the Olympians offense will take over at their own 48-yard line, 1st and 10. Joining Parks in the backfield, looks like it's going to be 2 running backs. That'll be Mark McDonald and Trice Villarreal. The Olympians love to run this split shotgun formation towards the later part of the season. When it gets cold and it's harder to throw, just pack it in and run the football. And it looks like they're going to throw on the first play. A pass out to Charles Claycamp, and he is wrapped up quickly. Number 22 with the tackle for the Stars. That was Colton Staggs, who's also the returner for the Stars. He makes a big play on the first offensive play for the Olympians, limiting that screen pass to a yard. So it'll be 2nd and 9, and the Olympians put it on the ground here on 2nd down as Villarreal churns his way across the 45 and into Star territory. And the ball will be marked maybe a yard short of the first down marker. The O's moving quickly as they sub in Xander Brotzman, the tight end, and take out the senior wide receiver Trey Neal. And Parks, I believe, got him with the hard count. Looks like a defensive lineman jumped. And that's going to be a free first down for the Olympians. So no play required to get that first down. And that'll move the ball across the 40-yard line at the 38. So the Olympians, their first down. And they look to continue that into the end zone. As Parks gives it to McDonald. He bursts up the middle, breaking tackles and falls forward across the 30-yard line. He's going to be marked just a yard short of the first down to bring up 2nd and short for the Olympians offense. Swap out Claycamp for Neal. Looks like they're going to be in the same formation as the Olympians moving quick once again. It's a keeper by Parks off the left side. Breaks a tackle, bursting free, and into the end zone for an Olympians touchdown. So the opening drive draws 6 points for the Olympians with the extra point upcoming on a big run by Malachi Parks. The senior quarterback has been a stud all year for the Olympians offense. As many of you may know, he's played multiple positions on his time as an Olympians player. Played wide receiver, defensive back, and of course switching to quarterback this season full time. As the extra point is good by Hedrick. So Hedrick's extra point is good, and we are up 7-0 with 8:14 to go in the first quarter. We'll be back after a quick word from our sponsor. We're back here at Stafford Field. A quick drive for the Stars, 3 and out. Punt it to the Olympians, and they draw first blood here at Stafford Field. 7-0 Olympians, and they're ready to kick it back to the Stars for their second offensive drive. As the Olympians kicking unit, waiting for the whistle, and here we go. Hedrick's kick is away. It's going to be fielded by Staggs at the 19-yard line. He bounces it outside to the left, and he's going to be wrapped down by Bergman around the 31-yard line. So the Stars hoping for more success on their second drive. They had multiple plays that ended in losses of yards in the first drive. They'll hope to get a little more momentum going here on their second drive. As Lewis leads his offense out on the field in more of a shotgun formation tonight. As tonight he's going to be flanked by 2 wings. Solo in the backfield. I assume we'll have some motion. Here we go. A run up the middle by Lewis, and he's going nowhere. Wrapped up at the line of scrimmage by T.J. Barkheimer. Had an open lane to wrap up Lewis, and he took good advantage of it, as it looks like the Stars will be marked back a yard. So it'll be 2nd and 11 for this Stars offense. Traditionally, the Stars have run their offense mostly under center, but tonight looks like they're going to be spraying out a little more than usual in the shotgun formation. As Lewis takes a snap, no motion needed. He's going to look to throw, rolls out right, and he's going to be wrapped up in the backfield. Nowhere to go, had multiple Olympians wrapping him up. Looks like towards the end it was number 57, Cam Schrum, that made the final tackle. So that's going to be another couple yards of loss. And the Stars digging themselves a hole already, only a couple drives into the game. It'll be 3rd and 13. And a presumed passing down here for the Stars. As he'll be in the pistol formation on this 3rd down play. As I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the Bedford team very young, which means they'll be very small, as they're going to try to flank the Olympians on the outside here on 3rd down, and it's not going to work. Toss was to Nykirk, and he got back to the original line of scrimmage that started the drive, but no further than that. So to bring up 4th and 10 for the Stars, and another 3 and out, and another punt upcoming. As Harrison takes his plate far back at his own 42-yard line, awaiting the Stars' second punt of the night. As the punt is away on the far side of the field, driving Harrison back inside his own 30. As he finds a hole on the left side, runs over a defender, and is brought down just short of midfield. So even though the tackle was made, maybe a little pride hurt on that tackle by number 17, Morgan Majors. He made the play, though. That's all that matters. The Olympians sideline got hype on that hit. Ball will be marked almost identically to where the Olympians started their last drive at the 48-yard line. This time will be at the 49-yard line, hopefully for a similar result at the end as well as the start. As McDonald's shifty moves, running over defenders and out across the 45 to the 43. Once again, I say this Bedford team is very young and very undersized. The Olympians making sure all the fans in the stands know that, as they have been running over star defenders all night. As the Olympians moving fast here on 2nd and short. It's a fake. Parks looking to throw. Rolls right, has nowhere to go. Fires now to the sideline. It's caught. Trey Neal on the sideline making an NFL caliber catch, tiptoeing his way inside the 20-yard line, and for an Olympians first down. Olympians team doesn't pass often, but you'll be for sure the wide receivers practice that stuff all the time in the backyard, getting both toes in bounds on the sideline. As they move quickly and give it to McDonald, cutting his way up the middle, and another Olympians touchdown. The first of the night for McDonald, who coming into this game is 8th in the state in rushing yards, adding to that total there as the Olympians add another touchdown to the board. So the Olympians, like clockwork, adding 6 more points to the board with the extra point upcoming here by Hedrick. Snap is down, kick is away, and it is good. So with just over 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter, the Olympians already taking a commanding lead over the Stars, 14-0. We'll be back here at Stafford Field after a quick word from our sponsor.
Looking for a new home? Well, you might need a loan. You know, applying for a mortgage doesn't have to be so tedious or time-consuming. Introducing Loan Butler by Ruoff Home Mortgage. Loan Butler makes it easy to apply for a mortgage online by compiling each of your important loan documents into one secure space. Just a clickety-click, and before you know it, you're home. Delightful. Apply online today. Visit loanbutler.com.
We're back here at Stafford Field. Another 3 and out for the Stars offense and another touchdown for the Olympians offense. As the Olympians looking to rack this one up quickly as we're 7 minutes into the game and the Olympians already lead by 2 possessions. As we wait for the official's whistle. And there it is, and we are underway. A little trickery on the kickoff, as I believe that was number 16 on the kick. Wrapped up at the 26-yard line by Parker Harrison. So the Olympians point out a little trickery on this kickoff. Not sure exactly who kicked that ball. I didn't quite get a number as it kind of happened suddenly. Maybe something the Olympians have been working on in practice this week. But the ball will end up basically in the same spot as it was the past couple drives here at the 28-yard line. As the Stars making it look something happen on offense as they'll put it in the air on first down. It's intercepted. TJ Barkheimer snagged it with one hand, and he's out to the 15-yard line. So much for making something happen on offense. One play and a turnover. TJ Barkheimer, his first interception of the year. And the Olympians are in business once again on offense. Looks like the officials say Barkheimer stepped out of bounds at the 19-yard line. Make that the 18. As the Olympians offense quick on the field, looking to add another 7 points to the board. 2 wide receivers in the set on the far side. As Parks takes the snap and hands it to McDonald. Off the left side, blowing his way up the middle and out to the 4-yard line. It'll be first and goal for the Olympians. Expect them to move quickly as they bring in more of a heavy package. I don't believe the Olympians need much heavier players to run over these Star defenders, but they'll bring it in just for safety. As they give it to McDonald, trying to keep himself up and falls forward to the 1-yard line as there is a flag down. And it's going to be holding on the Olympians. So instead of first and goal inside the 5, make it first and goal at the 14-yard line. A big change in yardage. And we'll see how this changes the Olympians' play call. As the Olympians will take out that heavy package and bring back in Trey Neal, who had that fantastic catch on the near side last drive to move the ball inside the red zone. So first and goal at the 14 after the hold as they give it to McDonald up the middle, cutting his way out to the 2-yard line. So making his way back to originally where they started this drive, inside the 5. Maybe a little bit of extracurricular activity after that play. So second and goal at the 2-yard line as the Olympians looking to be in a heavy shotgun formation as Parks barrels it up the middle and he's in the end zone. So Parks has his second touchdown run of the day, and the Olympians add 6 more to the board. So that's another new formation we've seen tonight from the Olympians, as it looks like East kind of experimenting with some new tactics tonight, as we had the sort of trickery kickoff earlier in the first quarter, and they're kind of an awkward formation for Parks to run it into the end zone. As the extra point by Hedrick is good, and a 3-possession game for the Olympians already with 3:45 to go in the first quarter. 21-0 Olympians here at Stafford Field. We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsor.
If you grew up in Columbus, you grew up with Ovation Audio Video. The Ovation Technology Group is much more. The local leader in local IT solutions. 25 years of keeping companies connected and running efficiently. Networks and managed services, phone systems and temperature control, data security, and HD thermal imaging. Grow smart with Ovation Technology Group at ovationtg.com. ovationtg.com, a proud sponsor of Columbus High School sports.
And we're back here at Stafford Field. The Stars have been bullied and beaten so far in the first quarter, as they're already down by 3 possessions, looking to cut into that lead somewhat as they get the ball back for their 4th possession. Last drive ended in 1 play as Lewis threw an interception to TJ Barkheimer that the Olympians eventually punched in for 6. As the kick is underway normally this time by Hedrick, and it will be returned by number 22 for the Stars. Number 22, Colton Staggs, as he makes his way across the 30-yard line. And that's where Bry Lewis will lead his offense out, try to make some headway on offense. So the Olympians defense coming off a stellar performance at Floyd Central, forcing 4 fumbles in that game, which eventually led to several points off turnovers and ultimately led to a convincing victory over the Highlanders. And so far, they've carried that momentum into this ballgame as the Stars have had almost no room to run. As they keep it on the left side, out to number 2, and once again, another loss on the play by the Stars. Dylan Nykirk on the catch and run, but a loss on the play and now inside their own 30-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 12 for the Stars. So far, the Stars have not been able to get on the outside of this defense. And with the triple option that they run, that is critical to being successful and being able to move the ball. And when you can't do that, you can't really do a whole lot else. So trying to make something happen here as they bust it up the middle. Finally, some yardage for the Stars as they get out to the secondary and wrapped up eventually by Elliot Koopman, who, just like Stidham, as I mentioned earlier, has been battling illness this week. Nothing COVID-related, just the normal stomach flu and things like that. He's back and better than ever tonight. But finally, the Stars are able to make headway on offense and get a first down, their first of the night, as they're brought down at the 38-yard line, 1st and 10. As I send the man in motion, It's going to be a pass. Lewis fires over the middle. It's caught. Nykirk on the catch over the middle. And 2 straight plays with first downs for the Stars. Maybe finding some momentum here as they move the ball inside East territory at the 32-yard line. Moving a little faster with a little pep in their step now as Lewis leads the offense back to the line of scrimmage. Let's see how the defense responds here after 2 straight first down plays by the Stars. They send Nykirk in motion. It's a keeper by Lewis up the middle. Breaks 1 tackle, breaks another. The ball is loose. Ball is fumbled. It looks like the Olympians got on the bottom of it, and they did. So all of that momentum by the Stars offense wiped away in 1 play, and it looks like senior Tyrell Bowers got on the bottom of that pile. So after 2 straight first downs by the Stars offense, they turn it over on the run, and the Olympians offense back on the field just in a blur. So after punching the ball inside East territory, the Stars turn it over, and the Olympians looking to metaphorically put this one to bed here in the first quarter. And it's a keeper by Parks off the left side. He's got plenty of room. Off the left side, breaking tackles, wrapped up by his jersey at the 43-yard line. As Parks has plenty of room to run on the outside. 7 yards on the carry. As the Olympians have 3 wide receivers in the formation. And Parks gives it to McDonald off the right side, cuts it back up the middle, and falls forward just across midfield. Wrapped up by number 53 for the Stars, James Covey. But not before an Olympians first down and moving the ball into Bedford territory. 3 wide receivers in the set once again as Parks keeps it, rolls left and looks to throw. Fires it short to Xander Brotzman. He has room down the sideline. Still going, tiptoeing his way inside the 20-yard line. And the Olympians another first down. It looks like the official on the far side marks him just short of the red zone. So not quite there yet, but just short of it. And the Olympians in prime territory to score once again. And after what looked like maybe the Stars building a little momentum on offense, that 1 turnover and another score as we see here by the Olympians, that one might have just put the game away. 27-0 already here in the first quarter as we run just under a minute at 50 seconds. Villarreal gets his first touchdown run of the night. And the Olympians already putting this one to bed. The IHSA has a 35-point running clock rule. So in the second half, if a team is up by 35 points, the clock will run for almost every scenario except for timeouts and change of possession. As Hedrick's extra point is good, and the Olympians already up by 4 possessions here at Stanford Field with just under a minute to go in the first quarter. We'll be back here after a quick word from our sponsor.
What does it mean to believe in something? To truly support and get behind it? To be committed and invested in making sure it succeeds and grows? At First Financial Bank, we go beyond banking, providing resources for dreams that matter and giving back to projects that make a difference. As our family grows, our commitment to serve the community grows with it. First Financial Bank, because together, we're better.
We're back here at Stafford Field as the kick is underway. And it looks like number 22 on the return, Staggs, found a little room out across the 35-yard line and wrapped up on the far side by number 30, Chase Zappi. Or pardon me, number 30. That was, well, it don't looks like we don't have a number 30 on the East roster. So that tackler will remain anonymous for now. So the Stars will take over after that turnover at their own 37-yard line. As Lewis takes a snap, looking to throw, fires right side, and that ball is intercepted. Intercepted by Elliott Koopman, looking to make something happen after the interception. Cuts it back across the entire field and is brought down inside Star territory at the 46-yard line. So another turnover by the Stars, their third of the night. And if this game wasn't already over, the Olympians have a chance to add 7 more here in the first quarter. So the Stars shooting themselves in the foot once again. Their third turnover of the night. And we hate to pick on the young quarterback Lewis, but that's all 3 on his behalf. You said a young quarterback, somewhere to improve there, holding on to the football. As the Olympians looking to strike early, a long pass down the field, and it is caught. That was Charles Claycamp. Charles Claycamp, a long touchdown pass, and the Olympians strike once again in the first quarter with 20 seconds to go. So one play, 46 yards on that touchdown pass by Parks. A perfect spiral right into the waiting arms of Claycamp, and another 6 on the board for the Olympians. As Hedrick's extra point, he's been busy tonight, kicking extra points. His 5th one of the night already here in the first quarter. As we see an instant replay here, brought to you by Ruoff Mortgage, our title sponsor. So once again, another touchdown for Columbus East. And the Olympians already up by 5 possessions here with just 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. We'll be back after a quick word from our sponsors. We're back here at Stafford Field. Apologies for the previous play. We had a little lag on our part. I believe we saw a replay on our part. The play had already happened when you were seeing it. So again, I apologize for that. As once again they try the chick kick, but the officials blow it dead before the play. Trying to see what the flag is for. And they're going to call a legal kick formation on the Olympians. So the first time they tried it, there was no issue. But this time the officials may be ready for it. And they're going to flag it this time. So we'll see what this infraction costs the Olympians yardage-wise. I'm not too familiar with my illegal kick rules, at least before the kick happens. According to our PA announcer, Dennis Pierce, it's just going to be a 5-yard penalty. So instead of kicking from the 40, they'll have to kick it off from the 35 this time. So now that the element of surprise is probably gone, I assume we'll see a normal kickoff from Hedrick this time. And that's what we'll see. Hedrick boots it away. Still a good kick, fielded at the 15-yard line, as Harrison comes in and wraps up Springs inside the 30-yard line. Excuse me, that was Staggs, my apologies. As Staggs returns it out to the 27-yard line. And the Stars, after their third turnover of the night, looking to finally make amends and put some points on the board tonight. 13 seconds to go in the first quarter. We've already had a lot of action in this ballgame, as we've already reached the 35-point limit, but that rule for time won't take effect until we get to the third quarter. So the Stars trying to make something happen here and try to get some points on the board, as the first play is a triple option. Toss out to the right side, and it's going nowhere. That was Crace Bergman on the far side. Crace Bergman making another big play in the backfield for this Olympians defense. And that will do it for the first quarter. Already plenty of points on the board, and the Olympians lead 35-0 over the Stars. As we'll be back in a moment for second quarter action here at Stafford Field. We're back here at Stafford Field as Lewis brings his offense out for the second quarter football, as he keeps it for himself and maybe got a yard on the carry. Down at the bottom of that pile was number 33, Parker Harrison, who's had plenty of action on special teams and on defense. Returns kicks for the Olympians, as well as playing kickoff coverage, and of course, as a normal defensive player and an active defensive player, to say the least, for the Olympians defense. Harrison has mostly been a linebacker his 3 years at East, but this year was moved towards more of a secondary role for the Olympians. Just kind of out of necessity, but a very versatile player for the Olympians, as almost another interception. That was number 8 for the Olympians. Almost had it. That was Devin Colby. He had two hands on that ball, but couldn't quite corral it. As a penalty down in the backfield. I believe that was a illegal formation on the Stars. The pass was incomplete, so the Olympians will decline that penalty. And it's going to be another fourth down for the Stars and another quick drive. before they had to punt it away to this Olympians offense once again. So the Stars lining up to punt it away. 2 returners far back for the Olympians. As I mentioned before, Parker Harrison, one of those returners. And joining him is number 25, Bo Wagner. As Harrison takes a fair catch at his own 46-yard line. And that's where we'll see Parks and the offense come out once again, looking to make it a perfect 6 for 6 on the night in terms of touchdown drives. And Parks just coming off a huge 46-yard touchdown pass right on the money to the senior wide receiver, Charles Claycamp. So both senior wide receivers for the Olympians, excluding Crace Bergman, we just call him an all-around athlete here. But the 2 primary wide receivers have both had excellent catches, as McDonald making his own impact, running through the Stars defense and out of bounds. I thought it was a touchdown, but the official on the far side said nope, he stepped out of bounds. Unless that was a missed call. They're going to kick the extra pointer. One of the officials on the far side put his hands up and said stop the clock, signaling that he stepped out of bounds. I guess the other official said it was a touchdown. So our apologies again. As Hedrick's extra point, his busy night has continuing. Perfect 6 for 6 along with the offense. 42-0 all Olympians here at Stafford Field. 10:51 to go in the second quarter. We'll be back at Stafford Field after a quick word from our sponsors.
In times like these, you need all your assets to work together, in the field, in the office, and at home. For over 25 years, Ovation Technology Group has been the local leader in creating IT solutions that work and save you time and money. From data security and HD thermal imaging to phone solutions and managed services, integrating all your systems seamlessly. Ovation Technology Group, for times like these. A proud sponsor of Columbus High School Sports.
Back at Stafford Field as Hedrick continues his busy night with another kickoff. And this one fielded by an upback for the Stars, number 26 on the field, Colin Whitaker. Probably not expecting to return that kick, but he brings it out to the 35-yard line. And that's where Lewis will bring his offense out to start their next drive. And as you've seen tonight, the Stars offense, aside from a couple of big plays, have had a huge problem moving the ball in this Olympians defense. 3 turnovers tonight and just a general lack of yardage has made this Olympians defense look like the Indianapolis Colts defense so far tonight. As a keeper by Lewis on the first play, and he runs into a wall of his own linemen and Olympians linemen. Gain of a couple. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Stars. Stars in no rush now. Most likely just saying, hey, we're probably out of this game in terms of winning and losing, but maybe we can work on simple offensive plays and working on defensive schemes tonight. So we'll see if the Stars offense can start to get some move on. As the pass on second down, Lewis is hit hard in the backfield as the pass is incomplete. A marker down in the backfield. I believe this is going to be on the hit. As Lewis got hit hard after the pass. Took a second to stand up. And it looks like he's holding his stomach after that hit. He got blindsided from the weak side. I didn't quite see a number on who hit him. So a roughing the passer call, that's going to be a 15-yard penalty. I don't believe the hit was necessarily late, but it didn't look very good, so I think that drew out the yellow marker from the official. So the Stars struggling on offense, but able to move the ball through penalty yards into East territory at the 48-yard line. As Lewis looks to throw, he's going to take off now, making his way out to the 40-yard line and just short of the first down marker. I'm not sure if that was a design pass and he just took off right away, or that was a designed QB run, but nonetheless a 9-yard gain as we have an official's timeout on the field. I believe Crace Bergman's helmet came off on the play. So an IHSA rule, if your helmet comes off, you have to come out for one play at least. So I believe the officials had to stop play so Bergman could get off the field safely. But back here, Lewis leading his offense on a little bit of a drive here, mostly due to penalty yards from the Olympians defense, as we have another penalty here. And this one's going to be against the Stars. False start. So that'll move it back 5 yards. So instead of second and short, looks like they'll have second and 7. So far in the drive, they've been helped by penalties. But right there, their first penalty of the drive, moving them back 5 yards. As Lewis lines up in the pistol formation. Sends a man in motion. That's Nykirk, finding room on the outside and wrapped up just short of the 40. I believe that was Koopman that made the wrap. Didn't quite take him to the ground, but his forward progress was stopped. So the officials blow it dead. The ball is marked at the 41-yard line. It'll be third and at what appears to be 4 for the Stars. Just over 8 minutes to go here in the second quarter as the clock running. As Lewis looks to get a third down conversion. He's going to take a look to pass, and he is wrapped up immediately. Taken down in the backfield. TJ Barkheimer came in flying like a missile and wrapped up Lewis right away, and he looks to be hurt. And Lewis limping over to the sideline. And the official's going to take their own timeout to help Lewis get off the field. And the junior quarterback has had a hard time tonight, has 3 turnovers, and has been hit hard on multiple occasions by this Olympians defense. So we hope he's okay and is able to get back in the game. But after the sack, it's going to be 4th and 11 for the Stars near the midfield stripe. 2 returners for the Olympians once again, Wagner and Harrison. As the punt barely gets away, almost got blocked. As Harrison fields the punt, and he's got room off the far side. Knocked out of bounds just short of the 40. FAR official says he stepped out just short at the 36-yard line. So this Olympians offense looking to add 7 more to the board as we just above 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. One running back in the set, it's McDonald, and two wide receivers on the near side. As Parks keeps it off the left side, and Parks has room, making his way out across midfield and knocked out of bounds at the Stars' 44-yard line. So the Olympians moving the ball on a big chunk run once again. Nothing new tonight for the Olympians offense, as they've had their way with this Bedford defense through the air and on the ground. Moving fast as usual. They'll fake it to McDonald, and Parks rolls out right. Fires down the field, complete. Charles Claycamp, his third catch of the night. His second big yardage catch of the night. His first catch was a screen that went nowhere. His second catch, a touchdown. And right there, his third one puts the Olympians in the red zone at the 16-yard line. So Parks airing it out a little more than we've seen per usual as they give it to McDonald and cuts it back right, breaking tackles and falls forward across the 10-yard line. Looks like the play was going left, but McDonald, agile as ever, cut it right back to the opposite side and made something out of nothing as he gets 9 yards on the carry and gets a second and short, and the Olympians will finish off the drive with a Villarreal touchdown run. I believe that is his second of the night, and the Olympians adding 6 more to the board as they're just short of the half-century mark. Hedrick's extra point upcoming. Along with the Olympians offense, he's been perfect on extra points tonight. 6 for 6. Has a good hold and a good kick, and make it 7 for 7. 49-0 here with 6:19 to go in the second quarter. It's been all Olympians here at Stafford Field. We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. Back here at Stafford Field as Hedrick tees it up and kicks it away. It'll be fielded at the 16-yard line. And he is wrapped up around the 35, maybe a little short, as a late flag in came from the backside official. A personal foul called on the Olympians. I believe I heard it from the field. A little bit of a late hit. So instead of the ball being just short of the 35, make it just short of midfield. As the ball being walked off, presumably to the 49-yard line. So good field position for the Lewis and the Stars offense. As I believe that's Lewis still in the game. Yeah, that's him. Limped off the field when we last saw him last drive. But he's back on the field here, looking to lead a little more of a more successful drive as he lowers his shoulder and makes his way out into East Territory at the 42-yard line. Eight yards on the carry. And Lewis taking it to the Olympians defense on that play rather than receiving it, as he gets a chunk run. And the Stars have an opportunity to get a first down here after a couple drives of not being able to do so. They send Nykirk in motion. It's a keeper by Lewis off the right side. He's going to run into a wall of Olympians defenders. Coming off the bottom of that pile is Cam Strum. And the ball being marked right at the line of scrimmage. So no gain on the play. It'll be 3rd and 1 for the Stars. This Olympians defense, as we mentioned, coming off a stellar game last week against Floyd Central. And obviously tonight, carrying that momentum into this game, as they have limited the Stars offense to very few yards and, of course, 0 points on the scoreboard. As Lewis takes the carry on 3rd down, and based on the near side official, looks like they're going to get the first down, and they'll move the chains. So they needed a yard, and I believe they got 1.5 yards, as the ball is marked at the 40-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Stars. So the first down in a few drives for the Stars into East Territory, looking to make something happen on the scoreboard. As he fires over the middle, complete. Caught by Nykirk. That's a gain of 7 yards inside. Big first down play for the Stars, putting them in good territory on 2nd down. As formation for the Stars so far this game, as Lewis takes it off the right side. The 25, looking to make some headway on the scoreboard, as they're just short of the red zone. Just above 4 minutes in the 2nd quarter. As we mentioned, the Olympians have already passed that 35-point rule. So in the second half, we'll see a running clock. As Lewis takes a snap and hands it up the middle. Number 7, Zane Anderson on the carry. He's had limited action, but when he gets the ball, he's had several runs of multiple yards, which has been one of their more successful plays for the Stars so far tonight. But only a few carries to his name. A 2nd and 7 for the Stars. As it looks like they'll spread it out. 3 wide receivers and a wide tight end. As Lewis looks to throw, fires right side, complete. 82 on the catch. That's Ben Cosner. And the Stars strike here for their first touchdown of the night. A touchdown pass from Lewis to Cosner. So the Stars finally able to put some points on the board, and it comes here with 3.5 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. As coming in for the extra point for the Stars is Sam Cosner. Maybe a relation to the man who just caught the touchdown pass, but we're not quite sure about that. As before the extra point is underway, we have flags. A flag called on the Olympians. I'm not sure what the call was. Gonna have to get some clarification at halftime. So that will move the ball up 1 yard. So just a teeny bit shorter on the extra point, and the kick is good. So the Stars finally able to put some points on the board, but in terms of wins and losses, that may be a little too late. 49-7, all Olympians tonight here at Stafford Field with 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. We'll be right back here after a word from our sponsors.
Looking for a new home? Well, you might need a loan. You know, applying for a mortgage doesn't have to be so tedious or time-consuming. Introducing Loan Butler by Ruoff Home Mortgage. Loan Butler makes it easy to apply for a mortgage online by compiling each of your important loan documents into one secure space. Just a clickety-click, and before you know it, you're home. Delightful. Apply online today. Visit loanbutler.com.
We're back here at Stafford Field after the Stars add their first points to the board of the night on a touchdown pass from Bly Lewis to Ben Cosner. As the kick is underway, it's fielded by the Olympians inside the 20 and trying to get a number on the return. That's Ethan Duncan, the sophomore, who is the backup quarterback for the Olympians. They're returning the kick for the O's. He makes his way out to the 33-yard line. But he'll have to wait his turn until the fourth quarter to get in at quarterback, as the varsity players have to stay on the field for 3 quarters due to IHSAA rules. And Parks on the play, a little reverse over to Crace Bergman. He's got plenty of room, has to make one man miss, and he does. Out across midfield into the 44 of Bedford. So once again, a little trickeration for the Olympians, tinkering and toying with their playbook, as we've seen quite a few unusual plays, both on special teams and on defense, or excuse me, offense for the Olympians. Moving fast after the reverse to Bergman, as they give it to McDonald, the bread and butter, as opposed to trickery. He's got 9 yards on that carry, out to the 35 of Bedford. In that strong shotgun formation, as they've liked to run all night, as they give it to McDonald once again, and he makes his way out across the first down marker into the 27-yard line. Looks like the O's will bring in a heavy formation, bringing in an extra tight end to the game. 1 wide receiver in the set now. And I would assume they'll keep this one on the ground, as Parks keeps it for himself, bursting his way across the 15-yard line and out just short of the 10. So another first down for the Olympians. And unless anything goes awry here, probably another touchdown for the Olympians. As the clock runs under 2 minutes, as they give it to McDonald, he stopped up at the 6-yard line. So one of the shorter runs of the night for McDonald for 5 yards. So make half of the yardage Be 2nd and 5 as they get to McDonald again. Barreling his way into the end zone. Touchdown Olympians as McDonald scores his 3rd touchdown, I believe. Got to double check that, but I believe that's his 3rd touchdown. And the Olympians once again add 6 to the board. Hedrick looking to make it 8 for 8 on extra points. The snap down, the kick is away, and it is good. So just over a minute to go here in the first half. The Olympians all over the Stars. We're going to keep it here for a moment. But stay tuned during halftime. We have the Columbus Wealth halftime show, as well as a performance from the Olympian Spirit Marching Band. And we're back here at Stafford Field. The Olympians offense 8 for 8 on drives, resulting in touchdowns, as the kick is squibbed and recovered at the 30-yard line. One of the F-backs, number 57, Levi Fields, fell on that ball. So the Stars will start their probably last drive of the first half at their own 30-yard line. 1:19 here to go in the first half. We'll most likely see the Stars put the ball in the air if they want to score, or they may just want to pack it up and bring it to the halftime locker room and put the ball on the ground. They send a man in motion. It's going to be a pass from Lewis, looking long. Not going to have a lot of time to look, though, as he's wrapped up quickly by number 59 for the Olympians, Chase Harrison, the younger brother to Olympians defender Parker Harrison, making a sack there. As it looks like the Bedford Stars wanted to go long there, but Lewis had limited time to look before he was scrambling for his life. I believe the yard marker is where the original line of scrimmage was, so I'm not sure if they'll count that as a sack, but the yard is still the same, 2nd and 10. As Lewis keeps it for himself, but not before a flag down on the field. A false start on the Stars. So 5 more yards back in the backfield. As after those 2 plays, we'll most likely see the Stars keep it on the ground and chug it into the halftime locker room. As the officials start the clock, as we run under 20 seconds, maybe starting the clock rule a little early. As they run the triple option, toss it outside to Nykirk, and he is hit hard by the older of the Harrison brothers, Parker Harrison. And that'll run it into the halftime break. All Olympians here at Stafford Field. But stay tuned, upcoming, we have the Columbus Wealth halftime show, followed by a performance from the Olympian Spirit Marching Band.
Hi, I'm Jacob Martin, and this is Columbus Wealth. I am a financial planner here in Columbus, Indiana. Born and raised, a local kid. Graduated from Purdue University and decided that I wanted to come back here to serve my community with money and to help people understand that this stuff doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be surrounded by mystery. We understand that there is a importance that is placed on what a dollar does for you. And so if I can help someone understand how to use a dollar to do more than one thing, that's a pretty neat thing to be able to do. And that's what I do every day. I'll often hear that it's nice to just have a third voice in the room. Or maybe it's a second opinion, right? I mean, depending on who we're sitting down with and when in life, we want to be centered on the client. And that becomes a relationship. We're able to sit down and help people on a macro or micro scale where I can get to know them, understand more about who they are, because just like how I had to learn all of these things at some point in time in my life, and I'm still learning every day, I want to teach people those same concepts. And so we do that by helping people analyze that full picture. We're best used by planning and helping people understand, how do you use insurance tools? How do you use investments? How do I look at this differently if I am a business owner, or I work for the state, or I work for a large corporation? Those are all different things that matter, and different solutions come up in that picture. So we want to help people best navigate that. Growing up in Columbus, I always found that one of the things we did really well here was to work together. I think you see a community that supports itself, that it revolves around the idea that not everybody is an expert at everything, and we're okay with that. And that's what we're about at Columbus Wealth. So if at all you're motivated to better understand how money works in your plan and what we might be able to do for you, I'd suggest that you take a look at our website. You can find us at www.columbuswealthinc.com. Find us on Facebook at our Columbus Wealth Inc. Facebook page. We hope you get the chance to reach out to us, and we'd be happy to talk to you with whatever those issues might be.
Central 48, James County 0 at halftime. Madison 20, Jeffersonville 7 in the second quarter.
After our halftime break, we're back here at Stafford Field. Big thank you to the Olympian Spirit Marching Band for a halftime performance. As the kick is underway, the ball bounces by Bergman. He's going to field it at his own 2-yard line. Looking to make men miss. I believe there's a flag back at the 8-yard line. This is most likely. So after the kick took a weird bounce and got past Bergman, the resulting block in the back will most likely put the Olympians inside their own 10-yard line. So a rough way to start the second half if you're the Olympians. The offense is going to have to go quite a ways to make another touchdown drive and keep the streak alive. So in the strong shotgun formation, as they've been most of the night, with one wide receiver, as they give it to the back. I believe that was Villarreal, the one who got the carry that time. He turns his way out for a couple yards. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Olympians. Moving fast, they'll give it to Villarreal once again. Bursting his way up the middle and out to the 18-yard line. I mean, the 13-yard line, my apologies. Going to be just short of the first down marker. It'll be 3rd and 1.5 yards. Here in the second half, the Olympians well up. They'll most likely keep it on the ground the rest of the night. But that won't deter them from moving the football, as Villarreal once again on the carry, getting the first down out across the 20-yard line. I believe they have Mark McDonald out of the game. I don't think it's any injury, just maybe a kind of cautionary, keeping him out of the game, keeping him out of harm's way. As they just have Villarreal in the game now. As Parks keeps it, it looked like he had trouble with the snap. I believe they have Ethan Duncan in the game now. So the Olympians foregoing one of the quarters they'll have with Ethan Duncan tomorrow, deciding to put him early here in the third quarter. So Duncan with his first carry of the night, returned a kick earlier in the first half, getting his first action here at quarterback. Calling his shots like a veteran, calling out the blitz off the weak side as he gives it to Villarreal, and he punches his way up just short of the 30-yard line. A gain of 7. I'll bring up another 3rd and short for the Olympians offense, as they'll bring in the sophomore running back Javion Smith for this 3rd down play. Duncan gives it to Villarreal off the right side, cuts it back left, and out across the 30 out to the 34. So another first down for the Olympians. And the East offense, despite being limited to just running the football at this point, still being able to move the ball efficiently for a few first downs. As they take out Smith and bring in 2 wide receivers in the formation. Hard count at first, they give it to Villarreal. Breaking arm tackles and churning his way out to the 40-yard line. So Villarreal busy here to start the second half, as he has several carries already. This one goes for 6 yards, and it'll bring up 2nd and 4 for the Olympians. Three wide receivers in the formation now. As a keeper, Duncan will look to throw, fires it to Ty Uphouse. So a good rollout and a good throw by Duncan. And gets the ball across midfield. Uphouse's first catch of the game. The ball's out to the Bedford 43-yard line. So forget what I said about keeping the ball on the ground. Coach Gaddis looking to work on the offense a little more with the second stringers, as Duncan keeps it on the ground for himself this time. And he's got about 5 yards. So good first down run by Duncan as they bring in Smith on this second down play. 1 wide receiver in this formation. As Duncan hands it off to Smith, his first carry. He grinds his way for a couple yards. He'll end up at the 35-yard line. And that'll bring up a looks like a 3rd and 3, maybe 2.5. As Olympians looking to keep the drive alive here on 3rd down. So give it to Villarreal off the right side, and he's going nowhere. Wrapped up in the backfield by number 53 for the Stars, James Covey. He's made a couple big tackles tonight, but may have just stopped this drive for the Olympians. So 4th and 5, as they'll take out the heavy package and bring in a few wide receivers in the formation. So the Olympians going to keep the offense on the field and try to keep the drive alive. As Duncan rolls out left, looking to throw, fires down the field. It is incomplete, almost intercepted. Number 5 for the Stars had the coverage. That was Pierre Childs. So Childs breaks up the pass, and that will end the drive for the Olympians on turnover on downs. So the first stop of the night for the Bedford defense, and they give the ball back to their offense here for their first drive of the half. As due to the running clock, we're already halfway done with the 3rd quarter, as the clock just trickles down below 5 minutes. So I wasn't lying when I said it'd be a quick half. As one drive in, we're already halfway done with the quarter. And the Stars going to throw it here on 1st down. Lewis steps up. He's going to run with it. Making his way out across the 1st down marker and out to the 49 of the Olympians. So it looks like Lewis wanted to throw, had nobody down the field, and is able to make something with his legs. So the first play results in a 1st down for the Stars. Already into Olympian territory. So Lewis looking to keep the momentum alive as he keeps it on the 1st down run. Has room off the right side, and he's going to take it all the way to the end zone. A touchdown for the Stars. Bry Lewis, 40-plus yards on the keeper, and all it takes is 2 plays for the Stars to punch it into the end zone. So 2 straight touchdown drives for the Stars after being stifled through most of the first half, as that drive only took a minute and a little bit of change. As on to kick the extra point for the Stars is Sam Cosner. Stars running on extra lineman for this extra point. Snap is down, kick is blocked. Kick was low coming out, looked like a line drive. It could have hit his own lineman. And if it wasn't hit by his own lineman, I'm sure it was swatted down by the Olympians front. See, the extra point try is no good. And the Olympians still lead by a plenty amount. 56-13 here with just under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. We're going to keep it here as the teams start to trickle on for the kickoff. Next week, the Olympians will stay here at Stafford Field. We'll be with you for that ball game as they take on the Owls of Seymour. And the North Lawrence Stars will be taking on the Floyd Central Highlanders next week. So the Bedford North Lawrence Stars have a tough 2-game stretch here, facing off against the Olympians and the Highlanders, probably the 2 best teams in the conference in back-to-back weeks. Of course, the Olympians took care of business last week against Floyd, but the Stars here tonight struggling with the Olympians, and the Highlanders will not have any easier of a challenge for the Stars. As we're getting ready to kick it away here, boot is low, squibs, and that ball will get past the returners again as Duncan picks it up, jukes his way, and falls down just short of the 20-yard line. Now, I know I'm not a player on the field, but it looked like that ball was going to make its way out of bounds if he had just let it roll. But playing it safe rather than sorry, picks it up and brings it out just short of the 20-yard line. So after returning his own kick, he'll come out at quarterback, Ethan Duncan, and lead his offense here at the 20-yard line. As he'll give the ball to Smith, who cuts it back left and dives forward across the 25 and out to the 27. So a solid first down run by Smith and sets up a 2nd and 3 for the Olympians. Clock still moving here, under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, as the Olympians offense in no rush to move the football. It's a keeper by Duncan off the right side. Has room on the right sideline and knocked out of bounds just short of the 40-yard line. So a first down for the Olympians, making their way towards the midfield line. Ball marked at the 37-yard line. That's where they'll say Duncan stepped out. And it's a keeper by Duncan, shifting his way through the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be wrapped up around the 44-yard line. So a solid keeper by Duncan, shifted his way around a couple Stars defenders and sets up a 2nd and 3 once again for the Olympians. Two wide receivers in the set, as they'll give it to Smith up the middle, making his way across the 45 and out to the 41 of the Stars. So the Olympians pierce Bedford territory. And once again, another first down. That might have been the last play of the quarter, as we're running under 15 seconds to go. And it looks like they'll be happy to run it into the fourth quarter. All Olympians here so far through 3 quarters. And we'll be back for a quick fourth quarter after a quick word from our sponsors. And we're back here at Stafford Field for what will most likely be a short fourth quarter as the Olympians bring in their entire GV squad as we enter the last quarter of this ball game. As they give it to Smith up the middle, and he churns his way for, looks like 3 yards. So we'll set up 2nd and 7 for the Olympians offense. As just like the third quarter, there'll be in no rush to get any playoff. As they flank him with Bo Wagner now, who was returning kicks early in the game next to Parker Harrison, but he'll finally have his chance to run it in the backfield at the running back spot. As Smith gets the carry, and he's wrapped up in the backfield. So nowhere to run for Smith, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 7. So a 3rd and long for the Olympians here inside the Bedford 40-yard line. As Duncan takes the high snap, keeps it for himself, and makes his way across the 35, and he'll be well short of the first down. So the Olympians most likely will stay on the field here for this 4th and 3. Duncan taking the play call. Probably going to run this down as far as they can before running the play. Duncan takes the snap, keeps it for himself off the left side. He's going to score across the 10, the 5, and into the end zone. And the Olympians add 6 more to the board. Duncan's first touchdown run of the night. And the Olympians, as I mentioned before the game, have scored 50 or more in 8 of the last 9 games, will now make it 9 of the last 10, as they're well above the 50-point mark. Now about to approach 63 if Hedrick's extra point is good. Snap is down and the kick is away, and Hedrick keeps his extra point streak alive. As the Olympians all over the Stars here late in the fourth quarter. And we'll keep it here as the teams most likely want to keep this thing running, and they'll get their special teams unit on here in just a second. And as I mentioned, we'll be with you next week here at Stafford Field once again as the Olympians take on the Seymour Owls, and the Bedford North Lawrence will be taking on the Floyd Central Highlanders. Game against Seymour will be Columbus East home finale, at least for the regular season. The Olympians heavily anticipating the sectional draw in their second season of 6A football. In the sectional likes of Center Grove, Columbus North, and Franklin Central. Of course, East is well familiar with Columbus North, but does not play the other 2 schools, Franklin Central and Center Grove, in the regular season. That draw will be later on in several days. But depending on that, we'll see if we get another stream after the Seymour game. But that's up to the ping pong balls for the side. As we're almost set to kick it away here. As Hedrick lines it up and boots it away. It's a shorter kick. It'll skip around the 30 and recover by the 25. And he is hit and knocked out of bounds around the 30. So the Stars will start their next drive at the 31-yard line. As Lewis still out on the field, looking to get some valuable reps against this stout Olympians defense as they prepare for their sectional in 5A, which consists mostly of other Hoosier Hills Conference teams. So they'll be well familiar with their opponents in sectional play, getting ready to maybe advance as far as they can in that sectional. As Lewis keeps it for himself off the left side, tosses it out to Nykirk, and he makes his way across the 45 and out just short of the midfield stripe. So Nykirk, a nice run on the pitch, and the tip of the ball will be right at the midfield stripe. So a big first down run, and the Stars are already peaking at Olympians territory. As Lewis hurries up the Stars to the offensive line, and he's going to keep it to throw. Didn't have anybody downfield, he'll look to run. Breaks one tackle, breaks another, and makes his way on the far side across the 35 before he's brought down for another Stars first down. Trying to get a number on that tackle. That was number 84 by the Olympians. It looks like we don't have a number 84 on our roster. So another anonymous tackler. We've had a couple of those tonight. We hate to just give numbers. We'd like to give credit where credit's due, but unfortunately not able to do that every time tonight. As the Stars hurry up once again, trying to squeeze as many points as possible tonight. That's another keep by Lewis, another pitch to Nykirk. And he is wrapped up around the 28-yard line. Number 30 on that tackle. And again, no number on the roster. So Nykirk makes his way for 5 yards and sets up a 2nd and 5 for the Stars. Clock dwindling under 7 minutes now, as the Stars looking to punch it in once again for their 3rd straight drive. Lewis fires over the middle. It is intercepted. No, incomplete. It looks like he had it, but the official on the spot says it hit the ground before he was able to make the catch. That's number 3, Elijah Tungate, in on the coverage. Ball was tipped up in the air and almost intercepted by Tungate. And it looks like Tungate is on the ground. May have landed on the football. There was also a penalty on the play. I believe I heard personal foul. So a late penalty, a personal foul after the play, is going to move the ball up 15 yards. But we're more concerned about Tungate right now as he's still on the ground as the trainers and medical staff attend to him. We'll take a quick break here. We hope Tungate's okay. We'll take a quick word from our sponsor.
Looking for a new home? Well, you might need a loan. You know, applying for a mortgage doesn't have to be so tedious or time-consuming. Introducing Loan Butler by Ruoff Home Mortgage. Loan Butler makes it easy to apply for a mortgage online by compiling each of your important loan documents into one secure space. Just a clickety-click, and before you know it, you're home. Delightful. Apply online today. Visit loanbutler.com.
In times like these, you need all your assets to work together. In the field, in the office, and at home. For over 25 years, Ovation Technology Group has been the local leader in creating IT solutions that work and save you time and money. From data security and HD thermal imaging to phone solutions and managed services, integrating all your systems seamlessly. Ovation Technology Group, for times like these. A proud sponsor of Columbus High School sports.
We're back here at Stafford Field. Tungate had to be assisted off the field by a couple of teammates, but he looked to be okay all in all. As a fumble on the play, Lewis was wrapped up and sacked on the play by number 55 for the Olympians. That was Brennan Cowan, who came in like a rocket on the blitz, wrapped up Lewis, and the ball squirted free. It looks like the Stars jumped on it before the Olympians could get it, but still a big loss on the play. It'll be 2nd and 15 for the Stars, as the clock starts running once again, as we're almost under 5 minutes now to go in the ball game. As Lewis keeps it for himself off the right side, tosses out to Nykirk, and he is diving his way into the end zone. He'll be marked out of bounds just short at the 3-yard line. It looked like he was able to jump his way across the goal line and able to hit the pylon, but he must have stepped out before he could jump. But either way, a 1st and goal for the Stars. And after a rough first half, the Stars have finally been able to move the ball on offense consistently, looking to make it 3 straight drives with a touchdown here. As Lewis lines up in the pistol, keeps it for himself, tries to work his way into the end zone, and he does. Bry Lewis, his 2nd touchdown run of the day, his 3rd total, had a passing touchdown first and then 2 rushing touchdowns. The Stars are able to put 6 more on the board as we run under 4 minutes now in the ballgame. Extra points have been 50%. He's 1 for 2 on the night. His 2nd attempt makes it just across the crossbar, and he'll add the extra point. So with 3:32 to go in the ballgame, the Olympians lead the Stars 63-20. And we're back here at Stafford Field as the Stars punch it in for their 3rd straight touchdown, but a little too late to get started on offense, as the Olympians have been much more efficient from the jump of things and have a large lead here on the Stars as we wrap things up. Before this game's over, we'll get you your Jolie Rentals and Jolie Development Offensive Player of the Game and the Overhead Door of Southeastern Indiana Defensive Player of the Game, as Wagner makes his way out across the 25 on the return. As the Olympians offense makes their way on the field for what will most likely be the last drive of the game, as we make our way under 3 minutes. Give is to Wagner, and he works his way across the 30-yard line and out to the 32. But we'll give our offensive player of the game to senior wide receiver Charles Claycamp. The wide receivers here at Columbus East are not often appreciated and don't get a lot of action usually on the passing game, But tonight, Claycamp had 3 catches, 2 of them going for big yardage, and 1 in the second quarter going for a 46-yard touchdown pass. So we'll show a little love tonight to the senior wide receiver. And on defense, we'll give it to the senior Parker Harrison, who made several plays in the backfield tonight on special teams and on defense. So we'll give a big shout out to the senior Parker Harrison. So the offensive player of the game, Charles Claycamp, the Jolie Rentals and Jolie Development offensive player of the game. And the overhead door of South Central Indiana defensive player of the game, Parker Harrison. And again, as we mentioned, we'll be on stream next week, Friday, as the Olympians take on the Seymour Owls for the regular season home finale. As Duncan takes it off the left side, making his way across midfield and out across the Bedford 40. So a big way to end things here, as they'll most likely just take a knee or swallow it on run plays the rest of the way. And that's what they'll do. They'll get in victory formation and tie a bow on this ball game, as the final score will be 63-20 here at Stafford Field. So the Olympians extend their streak over Bedford to 16 straight games, and overall in the conference, 94 straight games. So looking to keep another class undefeated against Hoosier Hills Conference opponents. They have 2 more games to do it. 1 more play needed here to finish things up for the Olympians. It'll just be another knee. So thank you for tuning in tonight. Hope you enjoyed our broadcast. The Olympians offense certainly gave some explosion tonight for you to enjoy. So another week of Hoosier Hills Conference football, another Hoosier Hills victory for the Olympians. As no handshakes due to COVID restrictions tonight, but gratitude shown between the 2 coaches as they wave at each other as they make their way to their post-game meetings. Thank you all for tuning in tonight, and we look